Welcome students to this information session regarding the off-campus intent process for the 2016-2017 academic year. Some information about off-campus intent. This will take place February 1st to February 5th. The off-campus intent form can be submitted through the Student Housing Gateway, and the link for the Student Housing Gateway is on the RCL website. Only students with at least 48 completed credits at the conclusion of the spring semester are eligible to submit the intent form to live off campus with a private landlord. Those students with less than 48 completed credits can submit an appeal form through the Student Housing Gateway, but are not guaranteed to be released to live off campus. So the difference here is that if you're a student with at least 48 completed credits at the end of the spring semester, you're automatically approved to be able to live off campus with a private landlord as long as you submit the intent form through the Student Housing Gateway during the designated time of February 1st to February 5th. If you're a student with less than 48 credits, you will still submit your appeal form through the Student Housing Gateway. That appeal will be reviewed by the RCL office, and we will communicate the decision to you, to your Longwood email account, whether or not you've been approved to move off campus. Those students that submit the intent form or students that submit the appeal form and are approved to live off campus cannot participate in the Longwood Managed Housing registration process and must live off campus next year. Students that submit the off-campus intent form or students that submit an appeal and are approved for release off campus must update their local mailing address with the registrar's office. The reason why you must update this address is so that if the university is sending you mail, they are able to send that to the correct address. Also, if there was an emergency situation where the university needed to get in touch with you, it's important that you update that local address so we know where you are living off campus. Those students approved to live off campus can request a commuter meal plan through the dining website. Students living off campus are not required to have a meal plan. Students that submit the off-campus intent form or off-campus appeal form must watch the off-campus orientation video in the Student Housing Gateway prior to submitting the forms. So when you log into the Student Housing Gateway and you click on the off-campus intent form, it's first going to direct you to the orientation where you're going to watch this video, which is geared toward educating you about your rights and responsibilities as an off-campus student. Once you're finished watching the video, you'll be able to go on to the second part of this process, which is to actually submit your off-campus intent form requesting to be able to live off campus for the 2016-2017 academic year. So wanted to explain to you how you submit the off-campus intent form. First, you want to make sure pop-ups are enabled in your web browser, and you also want to make sure that you're using Firefox or Internet Explorer. The Student Housing Gateway does not support other web browsers, so these are the only two web browsers that you should be using. You want to make sure that you log into the Student Housing Gateway. As I mentioned before, the link to the Student Housing Gateway is on the RCL website, or you can type in the direct link, which is provided here in this PowerPoint. Once you log into the Student Housing Gateway, you're going to click on the Housing Registration Information link to the left of the screen. Underneath that, a drop-down will appear, and click on the drop-down titled Housing Registration Information. If you click on the drop-down Housing Registration Information and it does not take you to a new web page, it's because pop-ups are blocking in your web browser. So you want to make sure that you enable pop-ups in your web browser so you can get to the form. Once you get to the Housing Registration Resources page, click on the Off-Campus Intent button. Those students with at least 48 completed credits will be directed to the off-campus intent form. Any student with less than 48 credits will be automatically directed to the off-campus appeal form. You're then going to watch the off-campus orientation video and then submit the off-campus intent or off-campus appeal form. All students will receive a confirmation email from the RCL office once the form is submitted. If you have any questions or need further assistance, please either email housing@longwood.edu or call 434-395-2080.